Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, and welcome to Playful Spurs, wherever you are in the world. My name's Paul, and to my right or left, I can't tell which way, he says his name's Ryan, but sometimes I don't believe him. Evening, Ryan. How are you, mate?
I'm good, mate. I'm absolutely good. How about you?
Yeah, I'm good, and I spotted that you'd tried to unmute me. Nice try. No cigar.
You're funny.
I do try.
Uh,
But anyway, the Thomas Frank train has left the station. Tottenham 2, Reading 0. Did you watch any of the game?
no,
You didn't. Have you even watched the highlights?
no,
You not even watched the highlights.
no.
I got it
I
when
know,
Ange was the manager with you. You weren't watching them, but what's your excuse this time?
well, no, it's because it's pre-season friendlies. Until the season actually gets underway, I just don't see the point in watching these friendlies because they're useless until the season starts, and then I'm straight onto the whole season ahead and hoping. But do you know what? The result was a good result either way.
Yeah, but for me, pre-season isn't just about the results and everything. It was, to see his structure. It was the first game he's been in charge of. We weren't seeing anything, just to see what had changed. And there was quite a few changes from what I noticed, in the way we set up. We weren't sat in the opposition's half with no one at the back, which was nice to see. But then, yeah, but for me, it was like, the game for me was more about fitness, getting some minutes into these players' legs and just seeing how, they're adapting to the new system, the new manager, the new tactics. And it was great to see the coaching staff during the pre-season friendly sat there constantly discussing everything that was going on that pitch from top to bottom, from the start of the 90 minutes to the end of the 90 minutes. They were analysing absolutely everything, just to see where we need to improve. Yeah, I doubt we'll see that during the Premier League, with the whole coaching staff sat there looking at an iPad, but during pre-season, I think we'll see that a lot, in the sense of coming on, coming off, and who's playing well, what needs to be adapted. Does a tactic need to be tweaked to suit a certain player? Does this player fit in better when he plays this system, that system? And for me, it was great to see that he didn't play a back five, which is what everyone was expecting.
Well, I don't care. Look, at the end of the day, right, a football game's a football game until the actual season starts. Then there's not a lot that I can really say because until that first ball's kicked in the Premier League season, I can't do much or say much really. But then that's just me personally.
Yeah, but for me, it was nice to see Kudos first 45 minutes in a Spurs shirt, and the difference of him being out on that right wing to Johnson again, Ollie, whatever they do. It was so refreshing to see a player run at players. And I know it's only Reading, but he went round four of them on the bloody byline. On the byline, he went round four of them. It's just like, what's going on here? We don't see this. He's going to be that player that gets us to the edge of the seats. This is why I like pre-season, especially with new signings that have been in. Recently, we haven't had new signings come in for pre-season, so it's just watching the same old. Whereas this time we do have a new signing or two. Yeah. And for me, I'm not going to rave about the guy, but Vuskovic, he had a really, really good 10 minutes when he first come on the pitch. Really good, promising start. Not saying he's going to be a starter, not saying he's going to be a world beater, but I do think he's cemented his place in the squad, because he proved he had tools in his box that we might need at a certain point in certain games. When we get a tough game and we've got a low block, and we're getting corners, he might be that ideal guy to come on and tower above everybody else in the box and just smash one in. You know, who knows?
See, this is the problem. We had this conversation yesterday, and I'm still sticking by what I said. What I said to you yesterday, and to be honest, I am not going to budge with what I said yesterday to you, and I'm just not.
You know, for me though, you know, when you see a player like that in pre-season, I'm not saying he's going to start. I'm not saying he's going to get loads of minutes. The only reason he would probably start is if we had loads of injuries. But it was good to see a player come in and affect a game. Whether it was against Reading or I don't care who it was against. Last year, we struggled against bloody Tamworth. You know, let's be honest. Right? So, you know, we need these sort of players that can come on that have got different things in their toolboxes. You know, and for me, as much as I love Mikey Moore and I've seen him, you know, he hasn't lit me up yet. Maybe once or twice with the odd bit of brilliance within a game, but he hasn't really lit me up in the sense of like Yamal, for example, for Barcelona, comes into the team, affects the game immediately. He's not doing that. No, but he isn't.
We can't be judging all these youngsters up against Lemmy Yamal. Come on.
I'm not saying judging him against that. I'm just saying, look at what has he done in the minutes Mikey Moore's played. What has he actually done to affect a result of a game?
See,
he hasn't yet. You know, and it's to me, he plays well. He does what he needs to do. But again, he's just learning. He's still massively in development. And when you got the likes of, you know, but you see, we're on about buying Simmons. We're on about buying Simmons. We're on about buying. We've already bought Tell.
Get Madison.
We've already bought Tell. Right? You know, we've got all these other players on the wing. That when is Mikey Moore going to get to play? Because he won't play in the 10.
How do you know?
There's people in front of him.
Who? Who's in front of him in that cam position? Go on, tell me. Because at this point, right, the only person that I see is Madison in front of him, and he
Kulu plays there. He played well when he played there as well, when he wasn't injured. So there's two in front of you straight away that are in our first team squad. Plus, if we bring Morgan Gibbs-White, he can play in the 10.
Simmons is better than all of those that you've mentioned.
Well, of course, but he looks like we're buying Morgan Gibbs-White.
Yeah, and he's better than Gibbs-White. No offence to Morgan, but I do like Morgan, but I think he's more of a defensive midfielder than he is an attacking. But then that's just my personal preference. Where I'm getting where I got annoyed, I'm always going to get annoyed at, right, is when you say you put Vlahovic on this sort of pedestal where then you say he should stay, but then Mikey should go. It doesn't
I'm
make
not
sense.
saying, no, I said that because of the position at centre-back and what Vuskovic has proven he can do, e.g. he can head the ball from a corner, which we struggled with last season in the opposition box. If we're struggling for a goal, who would you rather on the pitch? A player that can affect from set pieces, e.g. a corner, an indirect free kick, whichever, you know, that's 6'4", built like crazy, and he can head a ball. You know, and it's, at the end of the day, in a low block, that's what we struggle with. Whereas to me, Mikey Moore, he's not built up enough yet. You know, he hasn't played any men's football yet, really. Not consistently. He's played in the youth teams. And he's come straight into the first team training and he's had minutes in the first team. But then what has he done with those minutes? This is what I'm saying. He needs men's football, whereas Vuskovic has had 2 years of men's football from the age of 16, Might have been in Europe, but it doesn't matter. He's had 2 years of playing against men, whereas Mikey Moore hasn't. Whereas Mikey Moore could do with the minutes in his legs.
And until I've seen him do it in big games, I am.
Well, yeah, of course. I want to see all our players do it in big games. But then Mikey Moore hasn't done it in a big game yet.
Okay, so then let's put it like this, yeah, right? We come up in a North London derby against Arsenal, yeah, right? And he fucks up big time. Then what?
Well, that's how it is, isn't it? He fucks up. Mikey Moore could do the same.
Yeah,
they're both still young. They're both still young. I'm not saying they're going to be. I'm not saying Vuskovic is going to start. I just said he's a good one to have on the bench as a potential. You know, if we're going for corners and we're struggling against a low block team because we can't seem to break them down or get in, the only way we're going to do it is through set pieces. Now, to me, in that situation, Mikey Moore's not going to affect a set piece from a header from a corner, whereas Vuskovic can. And he's not afraid to get his head on the ball. So, you know, to me, it's...
You want to rely on the defender to win us games all season?
Because Ryan, you're missing the whole point completely. What I meant, as in, like, say we're playing against, I don't know, obviously against Arsenal and Liverpool and Man City, he probably won't even get a look in. But, you know, when we're playing the likes of Sunderland or Burnley, they've just come up. And we're struggling like we were last season, and it was 1-0, and we couldn't get past them.
Okay,
you know.
So we've got Burnley on the opening day, yeah, right? Do you expect him to play 90 minutes in that game then, do you?
Do I hell? He won't be playing 90 minutes.
My point exactly then. So you can't be
you can't
trust him that much.
No, you're missing the point of what I'm saying. I'm not saying he's ready to start. I'm not saying he's ready to start and play 90 minutes of freaking football in our back line in the Premier League. I'm not saying that. I'm saying he'll be a good one to have on the bench, because if we're struggling at 80 minutes and we need a goal and we're getting corners and we're getting set pieces, he might be good to come on for 10, 15 minutes, because he might just might have that header that will affect it. You know, you can't say, whereas to me, Mikey Moore doesn't have that. Mikey Moore's more of he's a very technical, very skillful player.
Why are you sounding like Lubo at this point? Because
I'm not Lubo.
Huh?
I'm not sounding like Lubo.
You are, because Lubo was loving Archie Gray last year, and you're loving Velovic at this point.
I'm not saying I love Vuskovic. I'm just saying from what I saw in the game, I believe he's got tools in his locker that can help us throughout the season. You know, when a guy comes on, and I don't care it's against Reading, you know, when a guy comes on, the first 10 minutes in a Spurs shirt, he has an assist for Lancashire from a Kudos corner. Kudos whipped it in at the near post. Vuskovic jumped up, headed it on, and Lancashire was at the back post and nodded it straight in. Right, that was our first goal. And then the second goal come from Vuskovic, because I can't remember who blocked it in the midfield, but it come from another header straight into Kudos. He brought it down nice in the area, brought it back, and instead of being greedy, he pulled it back. And Vuskovic whacked one in with his left foot. Because they were still pushing forward from the corner. But this is what I'm saying. I just think he's got more in his locker right now to affect games than Mikey Moore. Mikey Moore needs experience, which he doesn't have, and he's not going to get next season with us.
See,
he's not going to be playing meaningful football minutes with us, is he? Let's be honest. When is he going to play?
I told you this last night, and I'll say it again. I'll say it to everyone. It's not like I haven't said this to you yesterday that I'm not going to say again. He'll get the cup games. He'll get the League Cup and the FA Cup. Right,
and then what happens when we go out? So you're talking. Even if we make the quarterfinals, right? No, but Ryan, even if we make the quarterfinals, right? 90 minutes, say, in the League Cup, right? 90 minutes in, so third, fourth. So he's had 90, 180, 270 minutes in the League Cup. And then in the FA Cup, I don't know, might get another 270. So he's played 540 minutes all season. How is that going to develop him? No, but you just said cup games. I'll just give an example. Quarterfinals of each cup. Because once we get to that stage, after the quarterfinals, you're in the semis. He's not going to be playing the kids then, because you got a chance to get to a final. So realistically, you're looking at 3 to 4 games in each cup, right? So 540 minutes. That can't be enough to develop him.
Well, actually, you haven't taken into consideration extra time.
Yeah, he wouldn't still be on the pitch if it went to extra time. Look what happened with Tamworth. It was getting to the point where it was going to extra time. And then what did Ange do? He brought on all the freaking big guns. And then they all went and scored.
See, I do not want to be relying on a defender when we've got...
I'm not saying to rely on him, Ryan, though. That's where you're missing my point. I'm saying he needs to be... I'm saying he can affect games. Right? So if he comes on for 10, 15 minutes...
He shouldn't have to be able to affect games. We've got fucking strikers for that. Even though I don't rate Dom Solanke and I don't rate the likes of Charlison.
So set pieces...
games, but they just don't choose to because they don't pull their fingers out of their backsides.
Right, so...
And they don't do much.
Yeah, but what I'm saying, going from last season, how many corners actually went into the box?
No, because I didn't watch hardly any of the games.
No, hardly any. Most of them were short corners or thing. And what it was good to see...
So then I wonder why that might have been then. Is it maybe because we had Brendan Shitty Johnson?
Well, yeah, we had no one in the box to affect him. And apart from when Romero used to come up, Romero was the only threat with his head.
See, I think we're just going to have to just disagree on this one because I can't see no common ground how we're going to agree on this one in any way, shape or form, Paul. I really can't. And I'm not
I just think he would affect games more. I just think he'll affect games more than anybody else.
See, I just don't think that he'll affect games.
Off the bench. Not starting, but off the bench.
But on that.
Hi, Tel.
Morning, Jose. How are you, my friend? Hope you're well, bro. What? Do you know what, Jose? We're talking about the new kid who's on
Vuskovic.
Yeah, that's it. Right. Me and Paul are having this debate. What side would you be on? Because would you say he's more of an effective kind of a defender, or would you turn around and say he should go out on loan again? Because personally, I honestly think he should go back out on loan. That's my opinion. But Paul says that it should be he's a player that can come on with 15 minutes to spare to affect games.
Especially at set pieces.
See, I just don't agree with that. I don't agree with that in any way, shape or form. I just don't.
You know, to me, he just seems a player that's had 2 years in men's football. He's 6'4", and he's built like a brick shithouse, right? And when he's in that box, defenders are going to be worried about him. And honestly, when he jumped for that corner and knocked it on for Lancashire, he was literally 2 foot above everybody else. And I mean, literally 2 foot above everybody else. It wasn't like a small gap. He just towered over everybody.
See, this is what Jose's saying. He's saying that he's a top quality defender and he thinks that he probably jumped in front of Dragusin. Well, see, I can't really judge it on pre-season friendlies, Jose. I'm one of these that want to see it in big games. Do you know what I mean? Personally, I want to see him in big games.
Yeah, but we will. He was touted. He was touted better at Gardeval than, and they're the same age, both Croatian. So to me, this guy, I think, because he's had 2 years of senior football, he will affect our squad, and I think he needs to be in our squad. I'm not saying he needs to start. Whether he's above Dragusin or not, that time will tell when he plays in the Premier League. But for him to do that, he's got to stay and not go on loan.
See, I can't agree. I think he needs another. I think because this is what I said to you yesterday, Paul, and Jose. This is what I said to Paul yesterday. I turned around and I said to him that I think we should keep Mikey Moore and put whatever his name is. I can't remember. Yeah, I said to Paul that Vaskovic should go out on loan again to a bottom half league Premier League club. Personally, but he's saying, well, Mikey Moore needs a loan. Now, obviously, I don't agree with that, but he obviously Paul's turned around and said, oh, but like Paul has said, he has been doing it in men's football for 2 years and stepped up each time. He has an outstanding record, regardless of age. It's just a number. I mean, look, I can agree with you on that one, Jose, man. Look, I love you, right, as a content creator, right? Me and you, we don't always see eye to eye, and the same goes for me and Paul. That's why me and Paul started this up, because he wanted these fiery debates. Like you know me, Jose, right, well enough. When I came on, I'm not usually fiery on your channel, but when it comes to this, I can get kind of hot-headed a little bit. But what I will say, Veskovic is more advanced than Mikey Moore,
and he's already a full international.
Look, Jose.
No, but this is what I was saying, Ryan. Mikey Moore. To me, Mikey Moore needs a loan. He needs to ply his trade. Needs to be doing it every week. What I want to see Mikey Moore do is what Vuskovic has done when he's been out on loan. He's forced himself into the first team, and he becomes an integral part of that first team. And if he can do that, in the Championship, then yeah, there is a chance that we might keep him and bring him back into the squad. But at the minute, he's not getting the minutes he needs to develop. Well, he's not just going to come on and be magic. He needs minutes in his legs.
Let me put it like this, right, then. Right, Jose said that Veskovic is more advanced than Mikey Moore. Fine, and he's a full international. Fine, I get that. But I want him to see I want to see him do it in big games. Like Arsenal, the Chelseas, all Liverpool's, and all that. And until I've seen him being able to do that to convince me, I'm going to be on that fence. And look.
Yeah, but you want to see that, but then you're saying you want to send him out on loan.
I want to see it, but I don't think he makes it into the squad this season. And Jose, right? I get he's a full international, right? Look, hands up. I get he's a full international, right? But I honestly don't think that he is ready for the first team at Tottenham. He's done it okay. He's done it. What has more Donnelly and Devine done? Well, that's exactly what Paul was saying to me, Jose.
But this is what I'm saying. We blow trumpets about Moore, Donnelly, Devine, but these players have gone out on loan and they haven't forced themselves into the teams they've been on loan at. They've not played every week. They've not been an integral part of it. But then you want them to stay at the squad where we're potentially challenging on all four fronts. Okay, when I haven't seen anything from, the only one out of those three.
Then let me ask Jose and you this then. right? What did Jamie Donnelly? What did Jamie Donnelly do yesterday? Because obviously, like, you know, I haven't seen the game, and I honestly think I might need to get round to watching the highlights, but
Lancashire
at
did
the
more.
same time, huh?
Lancashire did more.
Well, I mean, what do you think, Jose? Because honestly, I personally think, right, that Jamie Donnelly could potentially break into the first team this season, and I also think that Mikey Moore could.
But
This season.
on what evidence, Ryan? What evidence have you seen of that?
Well, he's
Give me
still
a
got
strong
time to improve.
example of why they should be in the first team this season. Huh?
I've told you why. I've told you why yesterday. I'll say it again today, so that Jose can witness this as well, right? It's because we've got Thomas Frank, and he is a coach who will coach those players to be better players than what they were at the beginning of this season. Jose's saying that all three are good youngsters, but need for men's experience. But I feel
That need men's experience.
Do you know what, Jose? Right? Do you want to come in, mate? I can have you got the link? Put the link in for Jose to come in, because I'd like to see if he can. If he wants to come in, it's more welcome. Post the link for him, because this will be interesting. If you want it, Jose, the link is in here, mate. If you're not too busy, or if you can't, then the link's there for you to click on, and we'll bring you in, mate, if you want. Because this is going to be kind of interesting to see what Jose's. It's only for Jose though, for no one else. Only for Jose.
He's going to agree with me anyway.
Look, I think.
You know, it's like you think I'm against. It's like you think I'm against these younger players, like staying in the squad.
Oh, no,
That's cool, Jose. No worries, mate.
It's all good, mate. Just
But
type then.
it's for me, the youngsters in the squad, they're good. But the problem is, we've had a manager for the last 2 years that has only played them when he's had no other choice. He hasn't drip fed these youngsters in. He's not given them meaningful minutes in any game.
Yeah.
You know, so how do these youngsters develop? And then you can't say Thomas Frank's going to do it, because how many youngsters can he bring through? Bearing in mind, already in the first team squad, you've got Bergvall, you've got Archie Gray, and you've got probably Vuskovic now. Cheers, Tel.
Thank you, Tel.
Appreciate it, mate.
Thank you, mate. Anytime you want to come on, though, Jose, you're more than welcome to, mate. Because, like, if I'm not around and Paul's around, just jump on with Paul if you're not doing anything and you wanted to jump on. You're more than welcome to jump on and take my place whenever, mate. You're more than welcome to.
Well, let's be honest though. When are they going to get the minutes this season? And I know Frank's a coach and he will develop players, but he's not going to be able to develop Bergvall, Gray, Johnson, Odebert, Tell, Vuskovic, and then you want to put in Mikey Moore, Divine, and now, you know, it just isn't going to work. You know, you can't field 11 youngsters in a team.
Yeah, well, look, just before we continue, Jose, we appreciate you as much as we appreciate every other YouTuber that's out there, mate. We appreciate every one of these YouTubers, even though we don't always agree. We appreciate everyone's opinion. This is what it's about with me and Paul. Oh, okay.
It's gone.
Okay. Yeah, he went. But look, right, at the end of the day, right, I honestly think, hey, look, big up to Jose for coming to the chat for even just the 5 minutes. Much appreciated. Much love, bro. if you watch this back on replay, then much appreciated, bro. But yeah, look, this is what I'm glad this is dividing us, because we've agreed on a lot since we started this channel, Paul. So to be honest, I'm kind of glad something like this has actually divided us, because
but I'm saying but as I was saying, what evidence do you have for Mikey Moore, Alfie Devine, and to stay around the squad this season? What evidence is there? Bearing in mind, we want to compete on all four fronts.
Well, we know we're not going to go far in the Champions League. We both know that.
But yeah, but you can't say that. Me as a Spurs fan, I'll go into every game thinking we're going to win it.
But
we have to.
Not win it, come on.
No, but
Paul, you need to be a bit more realistic, mate.
I know we're not going to win the Champions League, right? But to say we're not going to go we should hit the quarterfinals. Why couldn't we? Why can't we hit the last 8?
Okay, so let's put it like this then, yeah, right? Oh, by the way, right, we are going to be doing I think we're going to do a prediction show at some point where we're going to place where we think everyone's going to be placed. I'm not sure, are we, Paul?
Yeah, we can do if you want.
Yeah. So that will probably be out, well, hang on, what's today's date? The 21st.
Probably just after the Super Cup.
It'd have to be before the Super Cup, mate. I think a week before the Super Cup, because then that means all the pre-season games have been played, I think.
Yeah, whichever, yeah.
Yeah. So...
Well, we'll work something out, but...
Yeah.
But yeah, as I say, just show me evidence to why they should be around the first team squad, and they're going to develop to how we need them to develop. Considering the other already youngsters that are in the first team that aren't going to be sent out on loan, e.g., Tell, Johnson.
So Tell's not going out on loan. Gray's not going out on loan. 2 youngsters that are not going out on loan. Really?
Bergvall.
Okay, and Bergvall, right. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, I forgot about
right. There's 3 plus Vuskovic coming in, right? If he stays in the first team squad, there's 4, right? So now Frank's got 4 youth players to develop in a season. As much as he can develop players, do you really think he's going to be able to develop all of them?
Yes.
What? Why can't it be 5?
I said no. Make Mikey 5 then, because I don't want Mikey going out on loan. I want him at the club next season, and I want him playing games. On the basis that you've said you want Vuskovic in.
Yeah, but in the games Mikey Moore's played, what has he done?
But then what has Vuskovic done for us?
Well, already in pre-season, he's showing he's got the tools in his locker.
Oh, it's
to
pre-season. Come on, Paul. It's not a Premier League game, bro.
I'm not on about he's going to be the greatest defender ever. I'm just saying from that 45 minutes, he affected that game with both the goals we scored against Reading. Right now, if you watch the first half, we didn't really create much. We didn't do much. Right? But in the second half, when we had Kudos on, right? You had Van der Ven on, Vuskovic was on. You had all these other players on, and it was a good mix, but it worked.
So there you go. Here we go again, right?
But then Moore started. And he started out on the left. And in 45 minutes, he had 1 dribble. And most of our plays went down the left. So in the same game where they're both playing against the same team, Vuskovic affected the game more than what Mikey Moore did. And they both had the same amount of minutes. And considering one's a centre-back and one's a left winger.
Yeah, but he had kudos with him.
Yeah.
Yes, there's a difference. When you've got someone like kudos, right, who's playing with you, obviously it's going to change. Because
Right,
kudos
but Mikey Moore's played in the first team last season with our first team players.
Did we have kudos last season?
No, but we still had the others.
Right. Point proven. With kudos in the team, it changes everything, my friend. It changes everything.
So you think you think Mikey Moore would have done what Vuskovic done if he'd have been on the pitch when kudos was on?
Yes.
I can't say I believe you on that, mate. I'm sorry. I just can't.
See,
from watching the game, and seeing the highlights, Mikey Moore didn't feature, whereas Vuskovic did, and big time did. It just wasn't. At the end of the day, I'm not saying he's going to be the greatest player in the world. I'm just saying he will be good to keep around the squad. A, because he's 6'4" and built like a brick shithouse, and he's, defenders will be scared of him in their own box on set pieces. Whereas Mikey Moore, to me, he's not built up enough yet. He's not strong. He's more of a technical player more than anything else. Very good on the ball. But he's not one of them dribbles down the wingers to the byline. He's not that sort of player. He's a very technical player.
Come on, what? I believe with kudos in the team, he changes everything. With kudos in the team, right, and Mikey Moore, it changes absolutely everything, in my opinion.
Well, hopefully we'll see that in the next pre-season game. I doubt he's going to play the two same teams because he played two different teams.
Yeah, well, let's just hope that kudos and Mikey Moore start together in the next game then, because I personally think that's the only way that we can find out who's done better, can't we?
Well, yeah, but in the same sense, I've also seen Mikey Moore last season. So it's kind of, I love him to pieces.
Same debate again with you.
I love him to pieces. I love him to pieces. I love him to pieces, but he needs experience. He needs to be playing football every week. And he's not going to get that at Spurs.
You could even
But anyway.
God, we've done
Go on, what was you going to say?
Thing for 38 minutes. Flaming hell.
Yeah.
Mikey Moore versus Vuskovic, even though they're in two different positions. Oh yeah, that's beautiful. That is 38 minutes.
Yeah, but then how do you explain Vuskovic with a goal and assist in 10 minutes? I don't care. It was against Reading pre-season.
Oh my God.
That's still hard to do. Who did that last pre-season?
Bergvall.
No, he didn't. He didn't score an assist in 10 minutes in a game.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah. But he still made an impact.
Well, yeah, of course he did. And look how well he played during the season.
Yeah.
You've kind of just proven my point.
No.
He had a good pre-season, come in and he turned out to be the player of the season. Have you just proven my point?
No.
Look, you dropped yourself in there, didn't you?
Look, do you know what? Like, we need to move on from this, guys, because we could be here all night until fucking midnight arguing about this, or even by tomorrow evening we'd still be arguing about this. And me and Paul, we're just not going to agree on this, whatever either of us say. So what I'm thinking is we move on from this conversation because neither of us are winning and neither of us are backing down. So I don't know what we do at this point.
Agree to disagree, I think, is the word. But it'll get proven, I think, as the pre-season goes on. And bearing in mind, this pre-season, we're not playing the likes of bloody, you know, South Korean teams and stuff like that. You know, we've got a proper pre-season games this time. We've got Arsenal, we've got
Yeah, and we
Newcastle,
have got the South Korean team as well.
and Bayern Munich. No, we haven't.
Yeah, we do.
No, we don't. We're playing in a South Korean stadium, but we're not playing.
Okay, then
Our
choose the
upcoming
friendly
fixtures
then.
is Luton
Yeah,
versus
and then
Tottenham.
after that,
Then in the South Korean stadium, it's Arsenal versus Tottenham. Again in the South Korean stadium, it's Tottenham versus Newcastle, and then it's Bayern versus Tottenham, and then it's the UEFA Super Cup.
Okay, so they've taken out the South Korean team then, because I know up to a couple of weeks ago they were actually talking about the. They were saying that there was a South Korean team in there, so.
So that's basically that's our pre-season, you know, and they're good clubs for us to be going up against. You know, the first two are great for fitness, Luton and Reading.
Okay, so Luton and Reading are good teams, yeah?
Are good for fitness. Good for fitness. Match fitness. God, you missed what whole point of what I just said. Luton and Reading are good for fitness. Players need to be match fit.
Okay, so they're good for they're good for getting match fit, yeah? Okay, cool. So
yeah. Well, you need it. Comes back to the whole point of pre-season. Pre-season is about to get them fit.
Look, I'm not.
And when we go, at least then we've got 2 games under our belt for when we go and play them down the road in South Korea.
Oh yeah, North London derby in South Korea. Woo! Let's all get happy about that one, shall we? And let's beat them. And then you'll probably say that Veskovic is the best thing since sliced bread.
Yeah, but no, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying, for me, I saw good things with Vuskovic. That's all I'm saying. I haven't said that he's going to be world class. I just said he can affect games more than what I believe Mikey Moore can right now. You know, that's the whole point. I'm not saying he's world class, but you want to see him. You want to see him do it against Arsenal, Newcastle, Bayern.
Yeah,
he could possibly do it. Then what are you going to say?
In the Premier League, not in fucking friendlies, mate. I don't care about, like I've said, me and friendlies. I don't care about friendlies. I care about where we start. Where our season doesn't start until, well, this year it's going to be the season doesn't start
PSG.
Until, yeah, but then usually I'd say the season doesn't start until the first game of the season. But obviously,
Thomas Frank's being dropped in it straight away. The Super Cup finals on the 13th of August. Then we play on the 16th of August.
Yeah, 3 days
first game in the Premier League
against Burnley. So your boy Veskovic, yeah, right? You want to see your boy Veskovic start then?
No, I've never said I want him to start. When did I say I wanted him to start?
That's what it sounded like to me.
I just said he can come on and affect games in the last 15, 20 minutes if we're struggling.
I want him affecting games. If this is the way that I see it.
He's another tool in the locker.
Huh?
He's another tool we can use off the bench to change a game.
I don't want him being a game changer. I want one of 2 things to happen. I either want to see him starting against Burnley and showing me he can do it.
But that ain't going to happen with the likes of Romero and Van der Ven in front of him.
5 at the back. Simple.
He's not going to play 5 at the back. His first team, he put 4 at the back. Which brings us nicely on to the next subject. Thomas Frank's tactics.
Let's see if we agree with this or disagree with this one, guys, because this is probably the first time that me and Paul have had a heated debate about things like this. Look, just to let you guys know now, right? Just because me and Paul are having a heated debate on here, when this show finishes, we'll probably go backstage and probably be there for about an hour talking normally again. Just don't get all worked up saying, "Oh, that I hate Paul because Paul's opinion's this, and Paul hates me because my opinion's this." Just because we have different opinions doesn't mean that we hate each other, guys. So if you do watch this playback and you do start putting something like that, me or Paul will literally take that comment off. Me and Paul, we don't talk every day, but when we do talk, it is civil, unless obviously it comes down to football, and then obviously it's a bit like it is on here, a bit of a heated debate sometimes. But if we see anyone saying, "Oh, Ryan hates Paul," or "Paul hates Ryan because of his argument," we will not be having that, and we will delete the comments. So just be warned on that, just because it's a debate and we can have different opinions and we can have different what's the word I'm looking for? God, Paul, help me out here, mate. We can have different opinions.
I think they got the message, mate.
Yeah, well, anyway, so just keep it. Just don't be trying to hate on either of us just because we have different opinions. Is what I'm trying to get at. Anyway, so that leads us nicely now onto the onto his tactics.
How Thomas Frank set up against Reading, because everyone was expecting a back five,
right?
And then he decides to show. Second.
Yeah, go on. I'm still here. I'm listening. He decided to show.
Yeah, that's right. Give me a second. There you go. Right, so he's played a 4-4-1-1.
Yeah, I can barely see that. My eyes are not 20/20 like they used to be, Paul, mate. You're going to have to bring them up a bit, mate, because I can't see that. I'm looking at... that's better. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Yeah, that's better. That was... So, first half, this was...
Yes, this was the first half team.
Right. Okay, so number 31.
So he started off with Kinski in goal.
Yep.
Kinski.
Okay, yep.
So Kinski was in goal.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
So, and he had... So three of our back line were there. Your doggy, Romero, Porro. Romero was captain. Dancer was on the pitch. He had a good game, actually. Good 45 minutes. Mikey Moore, Benson Course, Sarr and Johnson. Now, to be fair, out of those four, the only one that showed any sort of anywhere near to be match ready was Benson Course. Sarr, Johnson and Moore were just non-existent, to be honest. And then up front, he had Divine and Solanke. And again, Solanke was doing a more of a number 9 role. He was more in the box.
This is why
but he wasn't getting the service. So Solanke was up front and he was playing the more of the number 9 role, e.g. in and around the box. That's where he generally was for that 45 minutes, which gives us an idea of where he's going to want him to play when we're in the league. So I think we'll see a lot more out of Solanke this year, even though I don't think he's great and I think we need another striker. But I think that's the sort of area, this is the sort of thing we're going to see. And then down here, what we were seeing a lot of was your doggy literally running up this wing all the way up and literally overlapping Mikey Moore. He was constantly overlapping.
Was Porro overlapping?
Yeah, he was. He was overlapping on Johnson.
Yeah, but were they both overlapping at the same time?
But they were tight to the touchline. They were tight to the wings. They were what you would class as the old wing backs.
Yeah, but were they
No,
overlapping at exactly the same time?
no, no.
Hallelujah!
One went,
Thank
the other
you!
stayed.
Coach! Woohoo!
And when they did go up, like say Porro was slightly advanced and so was Doggy, Bentancur dropped back into around the middle here.
Oh, hang on. What? What? Say that again. I think my ears are deceiving me, Paul. Say that again, mate.
If Doggy did go up and Porro went, Bentancur dropped back into this space. Right here.
Okay, well, that sounds like a team that's being coached, if I'm not correct in saying that.
Of course it is. You know, there was certain things I saw, and the likes of Mikey Moore and Johnson and the people that took over from them, they were cutting in. So they were coming up and cutting into the pitch. So they were more like doing this. So basically, when we attacked, these two would stay at a double pivot. Divine would go. Moore would come into here somewhere. Johnson would come into there. Porro around the outside and Doggy around that side. So it was like a 6 against 4 situation.
Wow. Wow. Do you know what? Thank you, Thomas.
And then when we lost the ball, it dropped. And when we lost the ball, it dropped back into that space. And because Bentancur and Star wasn't so advanced, Bentancur was actually, you know, he cleaned up a lot in the middle here.
Thank you, Frank. Thank you very much.
But this is what pre-season's about, is to see. And I don't think this will be the first formation that we see, because he did change it about in game as well. He was swapping positions, like swapping formations about, but he never went to a back five.
Hang on, I thought that our fans didn't like a change of tactics mid-game.
Well, they're all screaming for it last season.
But I thought they said they don't like
he's in-game management.
No?
Yeah. His in-game management was a lot better, and he was a lot more active and a lot more interactive than anybody else. You know, and at half-time, they didn't go down the tunnel either.
Something else the fans don't like, right? They don't like an interactive manager. They don't like switching tactics in between games. They don't like this. They don't like that. Well, do you know what? Right? If that's the case, you ain't going to like Thomas Frank. But hey, I am all down for this. I am all down for absolutely anything and absolutely everything. I am now 100%, right, a Frankosexual. I'm sorry, I am a Frankosexual, and I've nearly creamed me pants just when I heard you say they were gonna, when he was actually switching and moving his hands around, telling them to be here, there, and everywhere. Mate, that is a breath of fresh air. I am literally happy. Thank you, Thomas Frank.
But the other thing that got picked up a lot from that game, when Sonny came on in the second half, he was either really unfit or, you know, he is gone, as in legs completely gone. You know, he didn't affect the game much. He didn't do anything. And I love Sonny. I really do. But, yeah, I think he's gone after South Korea, if I'm honest.
Do you know what? It's funny, right? A funny thing that I keep hearing quite a bit, and this isn't from fans. It's just something that's weird, right? Everyone wanted Sonny for the last God knows how many years, saying, "Oh no, his legs are still there. His legs are still there." Well, guess what? Right after hearing that, Paul, yeah, right, his time is up, and it's Kudus' time is now.
Yeah, but then Kudus hasn't come in to replace Son.
Well,
Kudus And I tell you what, Johnson now will be sitting there going, oh my good God, my guaranteed starting place is just gone. You know, his guaranteed starting place is gone. With Kudos coming in, Johnson will drop to the bench.
Well, I hope so. To be honest, right, but like from what I've heard, right, from just the small bits that I've heard, right, that Frank wants Johnson. So you know what? He's got until Christmas to prove me wrong, right? And then after that, if he doesn't perform, I want him gone. And that also goes for Tell as well.
Yeah, but for me, it's kind of, you know, I'm not. But to me now, I see Johnson as what he should have been in the first place. A bench player that has to get better to get into the first team. You know, and this is what we need to do. We need to make these players uncomfortable. So with Johnson now, he now knows there's somebody in his position that is going to displace him most games. He now has to prove and improve to show he can compete on a similar level.
Yeah. And do you know what? And if he doesn't back, like I said, I don't like Johnson.
If he doesn't do it this season, and we don't see any improvement, to me, he goes in the summer. He goes.
No, he goes in January for me. If there's no improvement, and that also goes for Tell as well. No improvement, then I want them both gone.
Yeah, but we're not gonna get rid of Tell when we've just spent 40 million on him.
I couldn't give a flying monkey's backside, mate. If he doesn't perform, he's gone in my eyes. I'm giving him up until Christmas.
Oh yeah. No, do you know what I can see happening with Tell and Johnson? They won't be starters, but they'll be there. They'll be coming off the bench 20, 30 minutes when we need to rest legs. And, you know, they might get a start in the cup games. But,
look, I'm down for that. I'm down for that, Paul, any day of the week.
I just can't see them. Yeah, I just can't see it. I just can't see him coming on any other way. Yeah, especially because we're not finishing the front line yet. Apparently, we're still going to get another winger and a striker.
Oh, good. Good.
So
good. That's what I like to hear. That's what I like to hear. Now, we are definitely...
So if Savvy Simmons comes in, apparently, they're on about Simmons, Paulinia coming in, Morgan Gibbs-White coming in, and a new striker.
See, and this is what I said to Sava, right? And Sava,
and that will be our whole front line that's changed, and that will tell you something.
Look, right, Sava, if you are watching this, mate, you know I've got time and respect for you, mate. But when I said this, right, to Sava, I said we are moving differently, and he said how? I said to him, and. I mean,
yeah, we've still got to do the business, though, Ryan. We've still got to do the business.
Oh yeah, no,
they might, you know, at the minute it's looking, or they appreciate they're going to do this, they're going to do that. Sava's point is, until they've actually done it, when they've actually done it, that's what Sava's saying. That's when he'll go, okay, they are moving differently. But until they've done it, and we're not hearing the same thing like interested, or Spurs are looking at, or we understand Spurs are looking at somebody. It's, you know, until a concrete bid goes in for these players that we're supposedly looking at, that's what Sava's saying. So at the minute, we're still doing what we've done previous.
Yeah, look, right, but at the end of the day, right, I love Sava, yeah? Right, Sava's...
So do I.
Never done me bad. Right, Sava's never done me bad. Sava's a great guy from what I can tell. Right, but what winds me up sometimes with Sava, I love you, mate. This isn't a dig at you. This is just me saying it how I see it on my behalf. And if you wanted to come on this channel, it is open for you to come on whenever you fancy, mate. You can come on. You can debate me with this, even though whatever, right? You can do whatever. Next time I'm on his show, I will say this to him as well, right? He's always willing to come on, debate me, whatever he wants to do. He can even come on and debate you, Paul. And I know you'll be more than willing to have it out with Sava if there's something you two don't agree with. And I know at some point there probably will be some. But where I'm going with this is with Sava, I just think he doesn't. When I said we move differently, I don't think he kind of understood exactly what I said until it was explained to him in a way where when it was explained to him, he understood it better because you know what I'm like. I find it hard to explain things.
You trip yourself up quite a lot.
I explain things in ways that it doesn't sound like it should do, but in my head it sounds perfectly clear, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And that's why when I said to Sava, we're moving differently, he didn't kind of understand where I was coming from. Hey, and that's my bad. I'll put my hands up to that. I didn't explain it properly. Yeah. Fair enough.
I do get what you mean. I do get what you mean about we're moving differently, but I also see it from the other side, whereas we've done this before. You know, we're constantly linked with players, right? And then last summer was a prime example. We ended up with 5 youth players and Solanke.
Yeah.
So, you know, I see where Sava's coming from. At the minute, it's the same. We've signed Vuskovic. Vuskovic has come in. Kota Tai has come in as well. And then you've got Kudos. They're the only 3 over the line so far. And I'm not classing Danso and Tell as new signings.
Neither am I.
They were signed in January, right? So our summer window so far is 3 players.
No, it's not, because Vuskovic was in 2 years ago, Paul.
No, I mean, he's come into the team this year, right? So he's like a new signing.
2 years ago, Paul, when he was 16.
No, yeah, but what I mean, I'm still using the youth as an example, right? So we're bringing in youth players again, and we bought 1 senior player. So I get where he's coming from. Where's the second senior player coming in?
Yeah, but we're looking at bringing in Gibbs White. Well, no, we're not.
Well, yeah, we should have him in.
Fair enough. We should have had him in by now.
And you know what? On that, I'm actually going to bring something up. Because just to prove, right, when they say we've done something wrong, right?
Go on.
I'm going to start here, right? So this was the first post. Give me a second. I'll show you. Share screen. Here we go. Right. So this is Fab's channel, right? So let's bring this up. Right.
Say that again. You cut off a little bit there.
After Kudos deal done, Tottenham have made a formal approach. So this was the first one that Fab put up, right? Okay. So after Kudos deal done, Tottenham have made formal approach to Nottingham Forest for Morgan Gibbs-White. Official club-to-club talks ongoing with opening bid expected soon. Gibbs-White can be open to move up to the clubs now. Right?
Yeah.
So that suggests we were talking to Forest.
Yeah.
Yeah? And then we got that.
Yeah.
Trigger 60. So we were talking to them. So they've obviously told us there's a release clause. So we've bid the release clause.
Right.
Look what that says. Breaking. Morgan Gibbs-White to Tottenham. Here we go. Spurs trigger 60 million release clause after direct contact with Forest today.
Yeah.
So we had the direct contact with them.
Yeah.
Right. And then this bit, Morgan Gibbs-White has now been authorised for a medical on Friday as a new Tottenham player. So what have Spurs done wrong? Tell me what we've done wrong.
I can't. In that department, I really can't.
And that's from Fabrizio Romano, one of the best who knows about transfers. If he says, here we go, and then they come up with like legal issues and stuff like that, it's like, well, because we didn't contact them. Well, clearly Fab says we were in club to club talks before the 60 million release clause got triggered.
Yeah.
So if we're in club to club talks, Tottenham might have gone, is there a release clause?
Yeah.
What are you asking? And is there a release clause? What's the details of the release clause? So Forest, if they get asked about it, they probably have to respond and say, well, yeah, there is a release clause.
Yeah.
And it's this amount and it's the payment terms. Then Spurs have gone, okay, we're happy with that. Bish, bash, bosh, done.
Fair enough, yeah. And that's why... I don't know. It's difficult, that one, because I want it to just happen now, and I'm getting tired of hearing the same shit every day.
Yeah, but for me, it's, and then today, right, yesterday, all Forest fans were going, Gibbs White is getting on the plane, he's going on this pre-season camp. And for Forest to play him in that game, I thought was despicable in my eyes. No, if he's under subject to transfer and an official bid has gone in, he should be waiting. He should have even told he can't play until the situation has been resolved. Because what would happen if he got injured in that game?
Yeah, but he didn't. But the point is,
there was a chance. And then all of a sudden he goes, for personal reasons, he's not going on the pre-season camp for Forest. What are them personal reasons? Like, is he moving to London? Is he gone to go and find his missus, who's already at the beauty salon getting her hair done and the nails done?
Yeah, what, the one on Tottenham High Street, yeah?
Yeah. Honestly, it's crazy. The whole situation is just crazy.
Yeah. I don't get it.
And I've never seen a situation like it. To be honest, it's, and if you look at his transfer market value, it's about 40 million euros.
See, I'm getting tired.
It's about 40 million euros.
See, the thing is, yeah, right, I'm talking about Morgan, yeah, right? It's getting boring now, because it's the same thing we're hearing every single day. It's not been done. It's not been done. It's not been done. That, really?
Apparently, it's getting closer now, though. With him not getting on that plane, there's got to be a reason for it. And it can't just be personal reasons, what's been cited. There's got to be something that's gone on behind the scenes that we don't know about. It's got to be.
Maybe. It could be. For all we know, Gibbs White could be on the way, but until we know that for a fact, we can't sit here and say, well, we know that for a fact. Do you know what I mean?
Well, no, we don't know it for a fact, but the things are looking in that direction, aren't they?
True.
At the end of the day, there's only one reason a player wouldn't go on a pre-season camp in pre-season. It's because they're subject to transfer and they're probably out the door.
Yeah.
Look what City did. They've left. Well, I can't remember who did, but some clubs have left players behind to find other clubs. That's what they do. So, for me, it's just get it over the line now, and then we can start looking at others. Because I don't think Spurs are great at multitasking. I think they need to,
Well,
I think they need to get one done followed by another. You know, what we might
well,
find is you might get a knock-on effect. Like Morgan Gibbs White comes in as he's medical, and then all of a sudden we might get like a 2 or 3 here we goes in a couple of days or so.
oh, don't that would just make our job a lot harder, wouldn't it?
I know, it'd be good. We need it.
Yeah.
But anyway, well, for what are your thoughts then on the next? I know you don't do pre-season, but what are you hoping to see against Luton? What are you looking from the players? Well, what are you looking from Frank? What are you looking to see?
Look, from Frank, it's just got to be the same as what it was in the first game. To be honest, yeah, it has to be. It has to be just the same sort of thing. Maybe not the same team selection. Don't get me wrong, but from
I want to see a mix-up. I want to see a mix-up in the teams. I don't want to see the same 11 starting both halves again. I do want to see different players.
Yeah.
You know, and for me, you know, I think he'll tinker with the formation slightly.
Yeah, yeah. As long as we have something that's going to be okay, then I can't see there being a problem.
Yeah, I don't see there being a problem, but I do want to see him get a bit sharper in the next game. I want to see him get more fluid. I want to see the coaching starting to come into effect that we've already seen. You know, I'm looking for improvements in the next game. Yes, we did. You know, it was a good start back, but I want to see the fitness levels get better. I want to see the sharpness of the players, the ball being zipped around a bit quicker. You know, stuff like that. I just want to see improvements in their general gameplay. You know, I want to see it get quicker. You know, I don't want to see it going at a snail's pace. You know, I want to start seeing him zipping the ball around a bit more, and you know,
that's going to take a bit of time. Come on, like you can't fault him for that. Do you know
what
I mean?
When I say, I'm not saying playing like prime Barcelona. I meant from what we saw in the previous game, I want to see it getting quicker in this game. You know, I'm not saying it has to be up to speed, but I want to see it get quicker. You know, so something where it took maybe 40 seconds to get from defence into the attacking half, I want to see that drop down to about 30 seconds. You know, I just want to see a gradual improvement in the way how quick.
That's going to come over throughout the season anyway. So we don't need to.
Yeah, obviously, as the season goes on, we're going to get quicker. But I also want to see. I want to see it increase each game, especially in pre-season. I want to see these players getting fitter, getting more match aware, getting sharper. You know, on the ball, making better decisions. You know, getting their passes a lot better, and you know, and things like that. And you know, players taking chances and risks, like Thomas Frank has asked for.
And I think it will come. I think it will come. Just give it time.
Yeah, I'm not saying I'm not giving it time, but I mean, as in the sense of from when we played against Reading, I want to see it improve and get quicker. I want to see ball movement a bit better, a bit quicker.
That's what I'm saying. You just have to give it a bit of time. Simple. It'll get quicker and quicker. And next season, it'll probably be just bish, bash, bosh, just like that. So you just got to just let it ride out. Like Frank's even said, we're going to lose games. So let's...
Well, yeah, of course. We're going to lose games. But we're not going to get battered.
I can't see that happening and getting battered, though.
No, neither can I. Neither can I. So, you know, that's what I want to see. But I want to see the match fitness increase because I don't care if it's a friendly out in South Korea. We got them down the road after them. And I want to see us go at them. I don't care if it's a friendly or what. I don't care. We need to go out there and treat that. That's a North London derby. That it doesn't matter if it's a friendly. There's no such thing as a friendly game with Spurs and Arsenal. There is really no such thing.
See, I can't see it being anything more than just you're hyping it up to be some big ass thing, and it's probably going to end as a 0-0 draw now.
Yeah, but I just want to see it as in the sense of, I want to see a rival game for a change. With both teams going at each other. Obviously, no injuries.
When it comes to the proper North London derbies, I can see it happening then, but not before.
Oh, I don't know. It's pride in it. Can you imagine? Either way, can you imagine whoever wins that friendly? Can you imagine?
Imagine what? What do you want me to imagine? What?
Right, Spurs win it.
Rainbows.
So Spurs win it. Spurs win it. You really don't think that the Spurs fans are not going to banter Arsenal, and the vice versa. If Arsenal win it, you really don't think they're not going to banter us. Of course they are. Yeah, it will. Oh, they will.
Well, we'll wait and see then, won't we? But I can't see. I can only see it ending as one way, and it'll be a draw, as it normally is.
It's never normally been. It hasn't been a draw for ages.
No, but I'm talking about in friendlies, though.
We don't play them in friendlies, and there's a reason we don't play them in friendlies. Because it's never a friendly game. It's never a friendly game, is it?
Does friendly go out the window then?
Of course it does. Honestly, I think you'll see two strong teams come out for that first half.
Nah, I can't. I really can't. I'm sorry, but I can't.
It's more for bragging rights, though, isn't it?
Look, we played them last year in a friendly, and we've done it again this year. So
we didn't play them last year in a friendly.
Yeah, we did. I swear we did.
No, we didn't.
I swear we did last year.
We don't play. Arsenal were in the States. We don't. Arsenal were in the States last pre-season.
Were they? Oh. Okay, I thought they was.
Hang on, give me a second. I'm just going to go. I'm literally going to go all the way back. Right. So our pre-season last season, right?
Yeah.
So let's have a look. Okay, 24th May, Sheffield United. Right, so that was the last game of the season. And then, right, so we played. That Newcastle was a fucking friendly at the end of the season, wasn't it? Right, so yeah, 22nd of May. So our first pre-season game was against Hearts, which we won 5-1. Yeah. Then we played QPR.
Yeah.
Then we played Vissel Kobe. Right. Then we played the K-League 11.
Yeah.
Then we played Bayern Munich twice.
Oh, okay. I thought it was last year we played him. I swear we played him in a friendly before somewhere, but
no, we don't play Arsenal in friendlies. There's a reason for it as well.
Because I know what you're gonna say. Because friendlies go out the window.
Yeah, it's too physical. And I think the only reason this has been done is for the South Korean fans to get a taste of a London derby.
Yeah, but it ain't a London derby then, is it?
Well, it is. It's still two London teams, just not playing, but I think this is a test. Because they want Premier League games being played overseas, don't they?
Oh, that's just cock and ball. I can't be asked with all that debate tonight.
Yeah.
That's another one we can do for the next one.
But to be honest, it's for me, you don't play Arsenal and Spurs in a friendly because it'll be too physical. That game will be physical.
Gotta get physical.
Well, it will. And bearing in mind, in pre-season, the refs let you get away with a lot more.
Yeah.
than what you would in the Premier League.
Yeah, that's why I can't see it even having the two strongest teams out.
Yeah, because we'll all be protecting them. We're going to put 11
That's what
kids
I'm
out
saying.
just in case.
Hey, play your boy Viskovic then and Mikey Moore then, yeah?
Well, yeah, you could. You want Mikey Moore in the team? That'd be a good one for him to start.
Yeah, you want Viskovic to prove himself. Oh no, I forgot that's me that wants him to prove himself. No,
So,
but
yeah, for me though, I just want to see more, not more of the same. I just want to see it get quicker. I want to see us get more dangerous on the attack. You know, more shots on target. You know, we had a lot of shots again. They were all fucking ski whiff and everywhere, but just not on target. First half, we didn't even get one on target. Didn't even test the keeper. Didn't even test the keeper. Yeah, but it was. It seemed like that when the game started. Seemed like the players were playing that way until Frank started shouting his head off on the sidelines, apparently. And as the half went on, we kind of grew into the game. So, yeah. I just want to see more of that, but better.
Without handball.
Yeah. But, you know, at least we didn't have at least we weren't pitching a tent on the halfway line in defence. And a crazy thing, Thomas Frank's already done better than Ange. He's got a clean sheet in pre-season.
Yeah.
Ange never had a clean sheet in pre-season.
No, that's true. Well, when did Ange ever get clean sheets? That's the question.
So, but yeah. Anyway, I think we should. Well, to be fair. To be fair, though, as you know, as Frank said, keep a clean sheet. All you need to do is score one.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. But then what was Ange's motto? Oh, you score 4 and we score 5. Oh yeah.
That was Ozzy Ardiles. That he was an absolute nutter when he was in charge.
Yeah, but then that's what Ange was using that philosophy, weren't he?
Huh? Yeah, that was his philosophy, but it never worked. We'd score 1 and they'd score 6.
Yeah, but I think it proved it from last season's league position, didn't it?
Yep, it sure did, mate. Anyway, I think we should knock this on the head, mate. It's time's getting on, so.
You forgot one thing.
What?
Question.
Oh, I've not got one ready. You have to wait. I don't know where the book is.
Oh.
I'll do it on the next one.
Yeah, well, I gave him the answer to the last one anyway. I don't know if you watched the other live back with me and
Darren. I did. I think I did see it. Yeah.
Yeah, and I gave him the answer anyway. So I was correct with the answer, weren't I? I wasn't making that up.
But yeah, it's all good, mate. Good to see you again. And obviously, please like and subscribe. More subscribers we get, the busier we get, the more content that will come your way. Any last words, Ryan, before we go?
Yeah, just a big up to Jose, because you said at the beginning, oh no, they're not going to get no one on here tonight, more likely. Well,
I've got one watching now. Don't know who it is because they're being quiet in the chat, but
yeah. But nah, Jose, big up to Jose though.
Yeah, thanks for coming on, Jose. And on that note, come on, you Spurs.